I'm just going to do a quick little lap around me, the little Furphy Creek. I was going to show them the boys what we've been after over here. So I've got wood ducks everywhere here, Graham. They're all taken over my creek, but the Furphy's a classic Australian water tank, you know, water cart. That's where they started, and so the Furphy Creek is a creek that's not really a creek, but I actually have the solar power running an underwater bore that I can turn on when I need to, and it runs my little creek, which waters all the little Australian natives and bits and pieces, and grevilleas and kangaroo paws. And I've sort of gone away from the eucalypts to all these deciduous trees, and this is part of the fire break. And then it runs down into the dam, which can keep a dam topped up if you need it. After the fires in 2020, I decided having a ringed by eucalypts wasn't such a good idea, so I've put in these Australian red cedars, which are an Australian deciduous tree, fast growing, beautiful tree, and they're only a few years old, but they'll be my sort of part of a fire break. So this is all part of a fire screen to try and protect the place as best it can if fires ever came through. And that's the dam that gets topped up. And I've got a few silver perch coming, so I've ordered another 100 silver perch, which I'll put in various dams. We've got our path. I had chooks, but the foxes got them. So the last chook went under my juniper tree. So the owners have a gin and tonic for chook the last chook one day, but I've sort of had to let the chooks go for a little bit. You put in your water posts for like water, but it's interesting just to do something a bit more novel. So, you know, I've got the water run straight through the back of the post. It's a bit more interesting than a treated pine post, you know. Here's an old fence post or two. That's the little cottage, which organizing everything for her overseas departure. So these are the bits of old garden art, the old horse-drawn equipment. So you've got an old 2-disc plough there, there's another old set of discs over there, they're all the old horse-drawn equipment. It's the shed within a shed, you know. So the idea is you've got your kayak storage underneath, wood rack underneath, storage underneath, and then you've still got plenty of room for hay, and then that's your lock-up storage for your camping and diving and a bit of fishing gear, and then you've got the hallway through to the back of the shed. Know what it is?
Is it export rules?
It is. So because, and a lot of the drenches and that have got withholding periods. So I've got a big logbook I've got to fill in, and you've got to say which all the things you administer, what the withholding period is for domestic and for international, and what the period is before they can be transported and all that sort of thing. And I had it all filled in because I knew I was being ordered and read the book and had the book and suddenly filling it all in. But the reality is everything was drenched and fine, but you know, it was kind of about your record keeping too. But to answer your question, it is specifically so when we sell beef overseas, they can say we have this quality thing, and we have an ongoing program to audit and review. And even though I'm only a fraction of the size of the big ones, even the small ones are all consistent with that thing.
There's not two rules, whether you have 10 cows or 1,000?
10 cow or 10,000, it's the same rules and it's the same criteria. And so, you know, what they're saying is these backyard little operations. And so mine's essentially, she summed it up, because I said I don't want to deal with cows and calves. I've grown up on a dairy farm. I know about calving, and quite frankly, it's not something I want to deal with. Yeah. So I basically buy young steers, fatten them out and sell it. So it's more or less a fattening operation, which is not as profitable but simpler and less moving parts. Yeah. And the ones I buy are drenched, so I might have to drench them again after 12 months. I do, and you give them a bit of B12 or something, so sometimes it just helps them grow a bit. But generally speaking, you just keep them happy, healthy, and they're all pure grass-fed, very happy little cows.
So
and this is and that was another good point. So the hay's to feed them out in winter, and so one of the biggest things, you get all these pests and bugs in the grass. So the hay comes from my brother's farm across the road. Whereas if you're buying hay from interstate or a long way away, people often bale their crap paddocks, and so you bring in everyone else's weeds. And so the fact that I know the provenance of the hay means that you're not introducing weeds that are not from this area. It literally has come 300 metres, you know, from his paddock. This is my big Tonka toy, you know, which is a lot of fun with hay forks on at the moment. And you've got a hoist to get on and off it. Yes, I drive it. So it's a hydrostatic. So I've got a hoist here I use to get on and off it. And then once I'm on it, it's just, it's hydrostatic, so it's a hydraulic operated. So it's just, you just press the hand controls for forward, reverse. There's no real modifications needed. and 52 horse, so it's got an 800 kilogram lifting bucket, which I've probably lifted over a tonne when you're moving troughs around. So the thing's it's a mid-sized tractor that can use full-size tractor machinery generally and move around bale, which is the main thing. 6 metre dive boat, which used a bit of diving, fishing and sightseeing, and I sort of gave them the outline of what I wanted from a design, and then they've come up with the details and made this awesome hoist and winch and roof system, and then I just get hoisted straight into the driver's seat where I drive the boat, and when we go diving I just get basically hoisted from the seat to the edge of the boat, and then I just do a roll-in entry, forward entry, and then getting out, I could get pulled over the side, but because I've got a hoist, I just get hoisted straight out of the water back into the driver's seat. A bit like Grandad's axe. It's 3 handles and 2 heads, but it's still the same axe. So that's good. And then you've got your ride-on mower, which is my other favourite toy. Who would have thought mowing lawns could be fun? But I enjoy it. I think if you got a decent block, you got to enjoy the lifestyle. And I enjoy my lifestyle. Just literally throw a leg over and jump up. I mean, it makes you realise though when you don't want your shoulders to go, I'm in trouble. No, I'll just leave that there. I'll just leave that there because it'll be here when I get back. It's all good. All right, so we'll head down the bottom shed. And I'll see you down there. Follow me down. All right, come on down, Marty. Paul, Marty, coming down. The bottom shed, and this is the bar, site of many a New Year's Eve party, birthday party and general night of drunken revelry. We've got our fire pit and circle out there, and you're sort of being basically set up. So you'll often have people come up and just camp here, and this is where you have some of the bigger functions. This is the remains of the old jetty, which I'm in the process of getting replaced, but that's another story. That's a boat Dave's doing up, going back in the water, and I need to mow the lawns because, man, this time of year we've had lots of rain and sunshine and they are going gangbusters. Right.
So this is where we'll be camping under here, is it?
Yeah, so there's a few spots to camp down here, so we'll go into the Skillion in a minute, and there's a main shed and all that, but you can camp a bit. Around here is where we usually sit and have a beer and that, and people camp in the paddocks. What I'll do is I put the cows in other paddocks, so there's no cows here and can leave the gates open, so mow the lawns and camp in the paddocks and that as well. Well, what I'll do is normally when I've got an event on, and I'll probably even do it tomorrow, I'll just put the cows in the north paddock, close the gate, and there's water and food there, and they're right there for the next week, and then we can leave gates open if we're down here. And so this is the Skillion, because at the time my girlfriend wouldn't let me build any more sheds, so I said, okay, I'm just building a Skillion, which is a lean-to. And then when she came in and saw it, she said, that is another shed, that is cheating. So this is my 7 by 14 metre Skillion, which is a place for, I don't know, this was my COVID lockdown project, so I built my Saddam Hussein mother of all slot car sets, which is, because I've got a brother, and the in-family joke which he's heard too often is when I was 8 years old and you wanted a slot car set, I got a little brother on my birthday. So I made up for it in my later years, and this is my slot car set. And lots of expanding foam from Bunnings, and look, it's a digital track, you can have up to 6 cars on it, lane changing. And people say, oh, it's like a train set, and I go, no, you don't race trains. If you want to see energy, you need to see 12 to 16-year-old nieces and nephews racing slot cars, and whose job it is to put the cars back on the track, and it is a lot of fun. And and you only bring out the good cars for special guests, because cars do have a habit of flying off. If you look at the end of turn 1, all that pulverised foam is where people have overshot that corner, and so the layout is you got the fast outer laps with nice big tree barriers, and then the tighter stuff on the inside, so hopefully when people come off it's on the table, not on the floor. And then you've got bits and pieces on the wall. This is also the dive room, so you've got a lot of your dive photos and dive pictures, and that's souvenirs, and also bits of stuff from some of my overseas diving and my wreck exploration in the Middle East, where I've got a bunch of portholes off old ships and all that, which I was very happy about at the time. But in Australia, it's more just photography and finding things. But, you know, I love my diving, and this is where some of the dive pictures end up and stories end up.
It's cool.
Yeah, and then through here, around here, like you have all your odd little collections. So, you know, at the moment there's a church pew. I'll just push this out of the road and ladders because my friends have just covered everything up with crap. But you've got your shell collection. I've got my car collection with your models and some of the better scale electrics cars and all that. Bottle collection and bits and pieces and dive posters from dive sites and dive trips and all that. But the shells used to sort of collect a bit of that as a kid, and then a bit of storage up top. But yeah.
So good.
And then even things like you sign something on Facebook like, oh, you know, someone was selling Thunderbird Island, you know, Tracy Island for $50. And I'm like, so instead of telling them dreaming, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could do with a Tracy Island. So I've got Tracy Island and setting up the my little Thunderbird Island with, but I need to get a bit of foam and not foam, cotton wool, and show that the rocket's taken off, if you know what I mean. But that's my so there's all sorts of things, and then you've got a beer bench. Every shed's got to have a bar for a beer and stuff, and then people come here, and then often some people say, oh, I've got something to go well in a shed. So I've had different people, you know, give me things like a fleet of battleships, you know, because they thought that would go well in a shed. So I made a special shelf for a fleet of battleships. I've got an uncle that gave me his aircraft carrier. So you've got your, you know, the USS Enterprise. So you tend to find if things are suitable, they'll end up in a shed somewhere. Yeah. My portholes off my shipwrecks, you know, which came off the Alexium Hope, which is a shipwreck, or the MO, which is a great wreck in the Persian Gulf off Qatar. So you collected them there. Although in Australia it's highly illegal, and I don't do it here, just for the record. They are from a Middle Eastern wreck. And even like the view here, Graham, it's just a great spot, you know. So you sit here and have a beer, or this is where we do a bit of skeet shooting. You've got your clay pigeon thrower, you set it up and do a bit of clay pigeon shooting down the valley. It's nice having your own bit of bush at the back, you know. But come the other end, this shed's got inside toilet and shower and an outside toilet and shower. So if you're up here camping, I'll just show you the other end, because if you're here with a group, toilet and shower. So that's what I'm saying. That's a good setup there if people need to, you know, if you've got people camping down here and you've got, you know, hot water and obviously, you know, everything there. And this is this was the dance floor. So this is when you have your parties. You've got your smoke machine and mirror ball and laser stuff and that. And that bar's out there, dance floor, chill out room. Yeah, well, there was I did a bit of Ciroc in here in the day, but not since, not now.
You should have come to my competition.
There you go. Yeah, no, exactly. And then upstairs is a loft. So you had bedrooms upstairs. People used to camp up there too. You know, they was camping up there. There are beds up there, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend them at the moment.
But I saw a road beyond